Ja. Zaczynamy kolejną rozgrywkę. Znaczy, kolejną rozgrywkę. Kolejne nagranie, w którym co tak naprawdę mam zrobić. Sprawdźmy. Odczytać znaki wodne. Dowiedzmy się najpierw rzeczy o sobie.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge. A metallic drawer slides out from under the seat and clicks into place. It's robust, weatherproof, and well-made. Police issue, blue. Lets you see things in the dark you would otherwise miss.
Dobrze.
The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. Preheater gauge casts a warm glow on the steering levers and the radio on its hook.
No i dobrze. Teraz X. Cyk. To. Aha. Mogę nosić te rzeczy. Aha, dobra. Ty, a to mi daje rzeczy. Też się trochę ukrytykuję. No. Policyjna latarka ozdobiona logiem firmy Grundstellung-Rau. Niewielkie dynamo wmontowane w reflektorek daje ci teoretycznie możliwość wyprodukowania niewielkiej ilości prądu wszędzie i w dowolnym momencie. No dobra.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
A gdzie to było? Spójrz na zacisk.
An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paper. The surface is interrupted by a silver...
What? It depends. Aside from
How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking.
any capable light with the right wavelength, all RCM vehicles have had lights designed to reveal halogen watermarks.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just...
It depends.
How many years you've been on the force?
Aha, no dobra.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand. It's a sorry sight.
%42% to trochę za mało. Spójrz. No dobrze, ale to w takim razie jak użyć jej? Jak to się robi? Przyjrzę mu się uważnie, może dałoby się... No chcę się przyjrzeć.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of paper. Arson, petty theft, spousal. You don't exactly close them so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now. An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the surface is...
What?
Znowu
thing.
to.
It's a halogen watermark. We use it for adding information to RCM property. Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand. It's a sorry sight.
Ej, no. Aha, w stałym świetle efektorów kina, aby odczytać... Ja myślałem, że latarką bym mógł. No dobrze.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of an aluminium block run. The surface is...
What? It depends. Aside from...
How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking. It'll have that.
Any cap... All RCM...
This means you can read the water.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand. It's a...
Sorry, że tak przekikuję, ale no po prostu... Najpierw idź do... Aha.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox.
All right.
Dobra.
Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
He's downplaying his excitement. The lieutenant is more than happy to show off his precious carriage.
Ukrywa nieco swoje podekscytowanie.
The
Wciskamy.
dashboard lights up with orange glow. The rounds per minute gauge jumps, and the engine of the Caprice Camionnuerów comes to life with a whiny growl.
Jeny, tak się budzi? Co to za dźwięk był? Wcisnij przycisk z podpisem
The lights
reflektory.
unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before the vehicle.
There
Okay.
you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid and the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation washes over you.
There she is. Revèche l'Ouest.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro-perforations. The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanema's headlights. A rat brazenly darts past you and disappears amongst the stopped lorries. In the distance, a child somewhere shrieks. A woman reprimands her in a voice no quieter than the child's cry. In the middle of a broken plaza, in a cone of light, barely visible in the daytime, two men, one slim, the other sturdy. They are on the city stage, but only one of them knows his lines.
Ah, Martinez.
Gdzie jesteśmy na tej mapie? Wskaż hologramowy plan. Halogenowy plan. Bierze na chwilę notatnik i przygląda się mu. Mówi, wskazując palcem punkt leżący w górnej części mapy, fragment wybrzeża wyrzynający się w olbrzymi ocean.
Oh yes. Coal City. Le Royaume. The burnt out quarter.
All of them worse than here. There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows. The first row has 18 dots. The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border, and then some. There are so many, it's hard to count. More than 150, at least, maybe even 200. The last row has 3 perforations. That's it.
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look.
Son, here is where we score your life performance. You better hope it's good.
No, albo nie.
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered?
Wędrowałem po świecie, opowiadając przetecznicom i kłamcom o nadciągającym końcu. Pozostało 9855 dni.
That's what it says. I might have guessed even longer based on your age. What did you do all those blissful years of your youth?
A dlaczego się interesujesz?
Fair point. Let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see... Wow, more than 200. It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers.
Kurde, ty.
Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there.
Confirmed kills. That sounds pretty evil. A drink would soften that feeling.
Po 18 latach? No nie, no to czy te zabójstwa zależy w jakim tym, może w Ameryce. To bym się spodziewał więcej, ale w Polsce, znaczy nie w Polsce, tylko ogólnie w Europie powiedzmy, tutaj dużo ludzi zaciąga, nawet ten, kim zaciąga takim francuskim. Może to być jakieś okolice Europy, czy coś takiego. Właśnie, ja muszę zobaczyć, gdzie to się dzieje, bo pewnie było powiedziane na początku, jakoś to przeoczyłem. Czy to jest w ogóle wymyślony świat? Muszę to zobaczyć.
Definitely not.
That's right. A killer of humans.
For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way.
What's it feel like to kill a man, Mr. McCoy? A young woman asked the man across the desk from her. Honestly, babe, says John McCoy, crossing his ankles over said desk. I don't feel anything anymore. It's just like brushing my teeth. I do it once or twice a week and don't really think about it. There's no trace of guilt in his voice.
There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident.
Od razu widać, że porucznik nie ma o tych funkcjonariuszach zbyt wysokiego mniemania.
But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for.
No.
He's sincerely glad you're not a scary predator. Not to say relieved you're competent.
No zapytajmy się, czy kim kogoś...
Yes.
Ale nie wdaje się w szczegóły.
It's not a problem for him to state it, however.
Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective or self-destructive than others.
Odpowiada, spoglądając na ciebie znacząco.
Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies.
Hobby to frajerstwo, na
Oh,
przykład.
this and that. Let's not get into it now.
Mm.
Why not gardening? You've already got the gloves.
A, jakie sytuacyjne, w sumie dobre. Twierdzę, wskazując na twoje żółte rękawice ogrodnicze.
It's meant in earnest. Please don't mistake it for a jab.
Okej.
The lieutenant nods.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
On szybko zgasił.
You
Myślałem,
can
że ja
now see
będę
your
mógł.
statistics on your journal page to the right of the task description.
Dobra. Wytrop swoją broń. Znajdź wszelkie możliwe informacje na temat swojej broni. Obejrzyj ciało ofiary. Na tyle. To tylko wstępne. No dobrze. No to mamy to. Jeszcze idźmy zobaczyć, czy ja mogę... Aha, to jest ten domofon, co mi tam nikt nie odpowiadał. Nie przeklikałem
The corpse looks at you with bulging white eyes. The face around them does not look human. It's swollen and ready to burst. His lips are fish-like and his tongue like a ball gag in his mouth. You seem to be holding your breath. A cargo belt twists his neck at an unnatural angle. The body below appears stiff. It's letting out an ungodly rot. The smell seeps in even through your clenched nostrils.
Active decay. It's okay to throw up, officer. No one is judging.
He's about to blow! Cop's gonna blow, Kuno!
The smell is repulsive. It pushes in from your mouth, more instant and more familiar than anything you'd expected. More fever than
Dzieciaki będą się śmiać.
it fills your mind, flushing you from within.
No. Kurczę, jakie dźwięki.
Too late. It's impossible to keep in. Your body curls and pushes it out, burst by burst, until a pool of vomit lies under your feet and your throat stings from the stomach acid.
It's okay. Happens to everyone. Keep it. The hangover is clearly making this worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear your head.
O,
If you can handle the headache, some officers use it to deal with cadaverine odor. There is Frit nearby, east of the hostel. They usually have a small apothecary. If they don't,
wskazuje
there's
szklarnię.
a greenhouse here, and a gardener with a wheelbarrow on the corner of the whirling in rags. If she works here, she might have something for the smell.
Okej.
Acquiring ammonia will provide a modifier to the wipe check. Modifiers make checks easier and allow you to retry them.
No dobrze. Dojedziemy do ziomalki. Chusteczkę, którą dał ci porucznik Kitsuragi. Jeden z rogów ozdobiono koronką i wyszytym napisem portier. Siema.
Hello again, officer. How are things? Sure, I'm done with it. Go easy on that stuff. It gave me a terrible headache.
Mamy amoniak. Wąska szklana probówka owinięta bawełnianą siateczką. Używana do zapobiegania omdleniom. Wyprodukowana przez zakłady farmaceutyczne Saint Beastie. Obejrzyj ciała ofiary lub ten. To tylko wstępna inspekcja. No dobrze. Aha. Nie mogę go użyć, no dobra, ale idę tu.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell.
Bez szału.
Emitting it is all it does now. The ammonia only makes it worse. The combination forces tears out of your ducts.
Hey.
He meant the second time, not so much. When the vomiting is done, your cheeks are wet with tears.
No cóż.
Nor does the wind right now.
Opowiada porucznik, czujesz, że poklepuje cię rytmicznie po
The
plecach.
weight is reassuring, like a crenel on solid fortification. Pat, pat, pat.
I've seen strong men turn themselves inside out for hours. You are facing tough odds here. Alcohol withdrawal makes it considerably harder. That's probably a good idea. Clear our heads. But before we can do that,
Zabiera swoją rękę z twoich pleców i patrzy ci prosto w
you need to
oczy.
get your shit together.
Dobra.
We should go talk to the locals. Find something else to do while the wind changes. It's pretty bad right now.
Okej.
You've gained a thought. When this dialogue is over, go to your thought cabinet and internalize it with special bonuses and effects.
Give it half an hour. Get yourself together. Then come back and have another go.
Pół godzinki. X. Wytrzymałość to twój metabolizm i układ krążenia zwiększają twoje zdrowie i jedną z dwóch pól, jakie występują w grze, pozwala ci przetrwać w tej pracy. Co z tego, że kiepsko celujesz, jeśli zdołasz zesłać kilka trafień? Czemu bać się niszczących zdrowie leków, skoro jesteś bardzo, bardzo zdrowym człowiekiem? Na wysokich poziomach wytrzymałość pozwala ci oberwać kilka razy w głowę, przyjmować więcej prochów i otrząsnąć się po kilku zawałach. Zawałach! Czyni cię potężnym człowiekiem, patrzącym z góry na słabe uszy. Policjanci z niską kondycją nie mają jednak łatwo. Ciało jest tak czy inaczej kruche, a policjant często musi poddawać je próbie, niesprostanie której kończy się śmiercią. Myślę, że to akurat dodam tak ogólnie. No daj. Ale ja mam jeszcze myśl. Gdzie jest ta myśl? A tu. I co to mi daje? Problem rozwiązany. Gówno w twojej głowie jest nieogarnięte. To niegodne policjanta i ludzkiej istoty. Powinno być odwrotnie. Musisz się ogarnąć. Skupić na niewielkiej przestrzeni, aby osiągnąć potrzebny poziom kompresji. Gówno zapomnij. Zepnij poślady na około 30 minut. Podobnie z obiema półkulami mózgowymi. Rozmawiaj z ludźmi. Może to coś ci pomoże. No dobrze, to jedziemy sobie porozmawiać z ludźmi. Na przykład z tobą. Kim jesteś? Mężczyzna ma mrocze do siebie, podkreślając przy tym rytm. Prawo to ja, okej?
It's the jam, my man.
Oznajmia wskazując zamaszystym gestem sznur ciężarówek. Jaki korek?
It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs agitating, all around clusterfuck. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days.
Spogląda na południe. Opponent Days jeszcze powiedział. Pogląda na południe w górę drogi i za dniem. Więc to w nim tkwie.
Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes of mazout.
Ekstrawagancko powiedziane, ale rozumiem cię. Nie do końca rozumiem. Co właśnie powiedziałeś? Co moim życiem? Tylko ja, metal i opony.
Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already.
Tydzień.
Behind the laugh, however, a touch of sorrow.
So tell me, what do you need?
Znajdziesz może chwilę dla pracującego pijaczka? Nie. Odpowiedz mi więcej o tym strajku. Wiesz coś o zabitym? Zapytajmy się.
Whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands, no way in or out.
Dlaczego domaga się związek?
Some pretty wild stuff I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town too. Like a strike negotiator type. They'd know what's up. Precise demands and so on.
Ah, yes, from the Wild Pines. We'll meet her soon enough, I'm sure.
Czego twoim zdaniem chce firma?
They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
Wyjaśnia, podsumowując swoje słowa odgłosem kasy fiskalnej.
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do.
Wszyscy, czyli kto?
Us lorry drivers. Camionnuerów. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really.
Uśmiecha się niezręcznie. A ty nie?
Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
Rzuca okiem na drogę niknącą za horyzontem. W jego oczach dostrzegasz jakiś błysk.
What's better than chasing transient pleasures? The more transient, the better. When one's ended, you can get onto the next one.
Wiesz coś o zabitym? Tym, który wisi za tamtym hostelem. Wskaż w stronę podwórza.
He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really asked about that. Been wasting time right here. Keep him busy.
Zajęty czym?
Analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being stranded in the midst of a sea of motor lorries and their sad, despondent chauffeurs.
Jaka
A
konkluzja?
sense of surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees.
Co właściwie przewozisz?
Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that.
No ty złośniku.
Time to arrest him.
Ostro, zawsze chciałem mieć kumpla w półświadku.
No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. This haul of cargo is mostly sporting goods. You know, tracksuits and that kind of thing. They usually get shipped to Grad and the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Ilmaran market lately.
Ilmaryjski rynek. To twoja maszyna, ta za tobą?
This rockin' beauty. Sure is. Like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery? Neat. For carrying large quantities of cargo a long distance. These found tracksuits need to find their way to the kids way out in Wamrau and Loran Bird somehow.
There it is again. A little touch of sadness beneath his cool. He thinks he's spent too long in this lorry.
Mógłbym dostać jeden z tych dresów falin, które przewozisz?
We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy.
No dobra. No dobrze. Mam inne
The
pytanie.
man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
To na razie wszystko. Jak będę miał coś do empatii więcej, to wtedy sobie do niego przyjdę, żeby zwiększyć procent, żeby mieć po prostu większy procent, bo teraz 42. Nie warto ryzykować, a może coś fajnego powie. To na razie wszystko. Miła rozmowa.
Be a stranger.
Żegna cię salutując 2 palcami. No i nara. Fajny gość jesteś. Bardzo stara fontanna, nie leci już woda, wyrasta z niej za to drzewo. O, a ja tu mogę iść. Ja myślałem, że ja tu nie mogę iść, czajcie. Prowadzące na dach ślady opon, wilgoć... Co? Jak na dach? O, Y, co to? Przedmiot leczący. Lombard Roya, wszystkie pieniądze. A, no to może tu będzie. Śluza nieczynna, do środy, godzina 7:15. Bary, słyszysz mnie?
Good day to you, officers.
A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunter's knife. His eyes are fixed on a man stranded on the other side of the waterlock and on an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal between them. His posture is relaxed. Despite his powerful build and a knife in his hand, this man resorts to physical intimidation only infrequently, if at all.
Wiesz, co spowodowało te zniszczenia? Wskaż zniszczony billboard w kanale.
I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, plenty of daredevil drivers in Rivershaw.
No właśnie, i tam były ślady prowadzące na dach. Kurczę, czyli co, dachem ktoś wyskoczył? O co chodzi?
The words daredevil driver sound ominous to you.
Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything round here, especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then. Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation, though. There always seems to be something wrong with it.
Twierdza, zamyślając się przez chwilę. Opuszczony targ rybny, dziwaczny kościół, wierni nie mają z niego zbyt wiele pożytku. Zawsze jest z nim coś nie tak.
Yeah, not really much else. Just bombed out ruins.
Nie będę od niego salami brał. To
A
co?
couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque. This panel usually closes the waterlock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything. You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then, nothing happens. A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the waterlock to get across the canal, some other way. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
Środę rano? O nie, masło spadło. A idźmy do tego... O! Rękawiczki bez palców, spoko. Idziemy do Lombardu jeszcze. Jaki klimat, co? To jakaś maszyna przestarzała, kasa sklepowa? Po piersi kobiety. Na tablicy napisano po prostu day. Przy tym roku niesie się szum projektora.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps. The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently.
Yes, officer. As you see, it's in perfect working order. It was brought to me to be altered.
W celu modyfikacji.
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property.
Twierdza dyskretnie porucznik, przybliżając się do ciebie, aby nie usłyszał go właściciel
You have
Lombardu.
to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
Oznajmia, przyglądając się uważnie latarni.
$700 a bargain, I dare say.
A bargain? No, it's not. He's trying to sweet talk you into buying trash.
Hey, I don't know where it came from, but it's not every day you get to buy and sell something so extraordinary.
Nie, no nie, a po co mi? Głównie ubiór wojskowy oraz kilka bardziej ekscentrycznych strojów.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-travelled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Golden orange. A sunset suite.
Orszak zachodu słońca.
Just make sure it works before you buy it.
A po co mi?
Is the Harman Welsh W2, made in Vespa, designed in Seoul, plays all reel-to-reel formats, 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real.
To nie dużo w sumie.
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech, found sounds and music from a variety of genres. Even though
Wykrzywia
I
twarz.
don't really like music.
Jedynka to taka... Pewnie, że nie pomoże.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back. Yes, buy something nice. A figurine.
Jej?
This sounds off. You shouldn't trust this guy. Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks, the kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye.
Franco-Nigerian knights. I used to be very serious about these guys.
Odpowiada, spoglądając na zakurzone figurki w przyciemnionym świetle. Niegdyś byli to dla mnie bardzo ważni.
A long, long time ago. They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords and rifles with bayonets.
Wskaż niebieskie figurki. Co to dokładnie za figurki?
Which ones? Ah, royalist soldiers from the time of the revolution. The uniforms are painted a bit too brightly, I suppose.
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols. Some even shovels and tall sticks.
Wskaż figurki w łachmanach. Czy to są w ogóle żołnierze?
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? Yes, they are soldiers, revolutionary soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win. I don't like either set very much, to be honest. But there are many parents among my customers.
He seems to have his own take on the conflict played out in perpetuity by these toys. Might be interesting to find out what it is.
To idźmy jeszcze z nim pogadać szybciutko.
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop. What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
I haven't had any problems myself, though some of my customers have complained about inconsistent law enforcement.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travellers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake, people who are terminally bored. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from. It keeps me entertained.
Jego uwagę ponownie przyciągnął taniec światła i cienia na ścianie za twoimi plecami.
Entertained? He might be high. If he is, on what? Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard. He's probably on Parolidon. It's tough to come by on the street. A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
I try to keep the shop at a comfortable temperature.
There's a note of indignation in his voice. Those triangle patches on his vest, you have a feeling they mean something, like they're similar to the halogen rectangle on your jacket.
I was with the Emergency Relief Brigade. You know, after the People's Pile disaster.
Odpowiada kasząc, jakby chciał w ten sposób podkreślić swoje słowa.
Had to take Parolidon for radiation sickness. That's what you were hinting at just now, wasn't it?
He's taken it for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days.
A bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities. It malfunctioned. Radioactive waste everywhere. Probably some of it in you too. There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened, and why no one has tried to repair or replace the pile. So much disappointment, and early deaths, cancer mostly. And we knew all that was coming even as we were cleaning up as best we could.
To zawinił i doprowadził do awarii generatora.
No one's. Everyone's.
Wzdycha i kręci głową.
So much bitterness.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor, hoping for the best. What do you think is going to happen? We were an all-volunteer force, self-organized, tried to help the fire brigades contain the spill.
Tough son of a gun, this one. Respect.
I lived by the river since I was a small boy. The Esperance. Didn't have the art to let it all go to shit without trying to do something to help out. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud. Years getting sick.
Co sprawiło, że prowadzi pan teraz Lombard?
The clean-up happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Later, my second aunt died. Left me this shack and all the assorted junk in it. So I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm gonna get as far away from Forburg as I can. Still in the same city, but... I like the theory more than the story. Outward movement, not vortices.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
Może zdoła mi pan pomóc w śledztwie.
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have.
Wie pan coś o niedawnym powieszeniu?
I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone.
No one likes to see what you have to see every day.
Właśnie to już, właściwie to już
The
wszystko.
pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
A swoją drogą, ma pan może na sprzedaż jakąś broń, na przykład policyjną?
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question.
Jej!
I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
What? Sold? The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another.
Jest zaalarmowany. Chwila, sprzedałem panu broń?
You...
With Kim here too? That just sounded really, really bad.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Okay.
And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind.
He's not telling you the whole story. It seems he's trying to spare you.
You weren't quiet yourself, officer.
Jak się zachowywałem?
You were very distraught. You said the gun was a threat to your life and that you can't trust yourself with it tonight. And that you need the money. When I said that I don't normally buy firearms, you put the gun barrel in your mouth and sort of sucked on it. Then I agreed to take it.
Okay.
You sucked on a gun? Good. Very normal.
No naprawdę. Nieważne za ile, zdarza się nawet najlepszym. Naprawdę powinien był się zabić. Bardzo mi przykro.
No apologies necessary, officer.
Była policjantką?
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it. And truth be told, she was terrifying.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the Citizens Militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it?
Miraculously, his face does not reveal what's happening inside.
Musi być jedną z moich szurniętych fanek. Może to samozwańcza strażniczka prawa chce. Jeśli przestępstwo będzie.
You're right that she could cast aspersions on the force.
Musimy znaleźć, stwierdzę. Wie pan może, gdzie mam szukać tej kupującej?
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it now. You'll just have to hope you luck upon her somehow.
No, przynajmniej wiem, jak straciłem broń. Porozmawiamy o czymś innym.
Of course.
A czemu?
Volumetric ship compressor. Bizarre scientific news from Revachol West today, where a police officer's shit has been observed at a pressure of around 495 gigadecimals. These metallic hydrogen levels of shit togetherness were thought to exist only at the center of collapsing stars, not law officials. It remains to be seen how long the shit's singularity lasts.
Wytrzymałeś. Wszystkie białe testy odblokowane. Limit nauki zwiększony do 4. Pytanie, jak długo ta gówniana osobliwość będzie w stanie przetrwać? A bo to się zużywa. Okej. Zwiększenie do 4, dobrze. Mam punkt umiejętności. Mam rękawiczki. Elektrochemia, brudne od palców papier. Poplamione benzyną, granatowe rękawiczki bez palców są niesamowicie znoszone, ale ponieważ zrobione z wełny, nadal zapewniają nieco ciepła i wygody. Elektrochemia. X. Obejrzyj ciało ofiary. Obejrzyj ciało ofiary wiszące na tyłach reeling in rags. Reeling. To tylko wstępna inspekcja. Wystarczy, że powstrzymasz odruch wymiotny i do niego podejdziesz. Dobra. Wytrop swoją broń. Szukaj dalej, może ktoś inny coś wie. Zamknij w środę śluzę wodną. Aby dostać się na wybrzeże, musisz użyć panelu i zamknąć śluzę. Został on zablokowany i czeka na naprawę. Powinna ona dobiec końca w środowy poranek. Otworzymy to nowy obszar w Martinez. A to?
Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your copotype.
Glinotyp. Glinotypy? Chwila, istnieją jakieś glinotypy?
Yes. Guess what's yours?
Żałosny gliniarz, przepraszam. Jakiś pancerny gliniarz? Czadowy gliniarz?
No, you're the sorry cop. The cop who's sorriest. Let's make it official then, shall we? Huge lack of enthusiasm going on in here.
Czy inne glinotypy nie będą zazdrosne?
Oh, you know.
Ale bierzemy pierwszy.
Apocalypse, Superstellar, the Advanced Interesting Cop, Liquid Shadow Cop. But you're too sorry to say those things. So, here we go? What? Jealous of the sorry cop? I think they'll be fine. Don't worry. They'll be super, super fine. It'll be totally okay. You can dual copotype from sorry to anything.
Żałosnym jeszcze jakieś. Wiesz co, w sumie to za nic nie przepraszam i nie jestem żałosny. Zmieniam zdanie.
No you don't. Come on. You'll be back to saying sorry in 2 minutes. Stop wasting time and begin the repentance.
Nie, naprawdę. Nie przepraszam. Ciekawe o co chodzi.
Wow. Okay. Fuck off. Maybe we were wrong about you then.
Zdecydowanie. Jeszcze tylko szybko tutaj zobaczę.
You see rows of toy soldiers.
Co ja tu potrzebuję?
Trinkets displayed on the table.
Zaczepne palce.
Horseback, others in rags, others.
Bądź mistrzem maszyn i otwieraj zamki i takie rzeczy. No to by było w sumie spoko.
rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table.
Próbujemy.
Some on horseback. Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that save foul.
Oh, that's the Headless Phone Rider. The Headless Phone Rider. It's an urban legend about a man who rides the streets of Revachol sporting a fawn tracksuit. As you see, he's missing his head. 50 cents. Bargain price. I'll throw in the tiny cap too. I think he's looking for it, or something. That part of the story has many interpretations. Did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it with you.
That was a very smooth salesman's grin that almost comes off as earnest. You should learn from him.
Plastikowy bezgłowy jeździec Palm siedzi na swoim równie plastikowym byku w pozie zdradzającej desperację lub albo dumę. W zestawie jest też sławna czapka Palm, dla której stracił głowę. Głowy nie ma w komplecie. No dobra, niech sobie będzie. Może się przyda. Wyjdźmy. I tutaj sobie zakończę nagranie, bo to w ogóle coraz dłuższe te nagrania, nie? Ale no ciekawe rzeczy tam były, tak do poczytania, historia była fajna. W takim razie do usłyszenia następnym razem. Cześć.